Hello friends, the big question we have today is how can a star be older than the universe itself? It sounds like a physical impossibility, like a child being born before its parents. Yet for years of calculation has proven this. For HD 140283, also known as Methuselah star, it is suggested by the scientists that it actually predates the Big Bang. That is, it is older than the age of the universe itself. Let us explore this today. Friends, we are used to things having logical order. A parent is always older than their child. A recipe is written before the cake is baked. This is casual logic. It's fundamental to how we experience reality. But what if I told you that in astronomy, the science of universe itself once found an object that seems to break that rule itself? Before we move forward, a word about our sponsor. Let me ask you, are you struggling to find the right solution for your business problems? I would like to introduce HelloGig.com, whose AI engine connects you with top-tier freelancers from your industry only, which helps in designing a better and scalable solution for your business. Whether you are a SaaS startup or an enterprise, HelloGig makes sure that you can focus on your core business. With HelloGig's global freelance network, you can depend upon all your technology needs, be it software development, artificial intelligence, video editing, or even something else. Ready to hire smarter? Scan the QR code given on the screen or click on the link below. Now let's get back to our video. For decades, calculation by some of the world's most sophisticated instruments suggested a paradox so profound that it threatened to dismantle our entire understanding of the physics. They found a star, a very real star in our own galactical neighborhood. And according to the best math we had, that single star appeared to be older than the entire universe. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't a science fiction. This was for years a real, verifiable scientific crisis known as the cosmology crisis. If the star was real, our math was wrong. If our math was wrong, our theory of how the universe began, the Big Bang, was potentially incomplete or just flat out incorrect. Today we are going to dive into the mysteries of the Methuselah star, also known as HD 140283. We are going to explore how we measure the age of the universe, how we measure the age of the star, and how this one celestial anomaly forced physics to grow up. Before we begin, if you love breaking down the mind-bending space mysteries, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. Now, let's go ahead and discuss this impossibility. To understand why the Methuselah star is such a paradox, we first need to agree on a single number. We need to know the official age of the universe. This isn't a guess, it's a number calculated to incredibly high precision. We know this number by working backwards. Think of it like this. If you see two cars moving away from each other on road, you can estimate when they are parked together by measuring how fast they are moving now. In 1929, Edwin Hubble discovered that the entire universe is expanding. Galaxies are moving away from us and from each other. And critically, the farther away they are, the faster they are receding. This is known as the Hubble law. This meant the universe had a starting point. It had time zero. To find the time zero, we look at the oldest thing we can see, the cosmic microwave radiation, or CMB. This is the faint afterglow left over from the Big Bang itself. Missions like NASA's WMAP and the European Space Agency's Planck satellite measured the CMB with breathtaking accuracy by analyzing the fluctuations in the ancient light. Scientists were able to calculate the key factors defining our universe: its composition, its density, and most importantly, how fast it's expanding. And we call it Hubble constant. By combining the Hubble constant with the data from the CMB, we arrived at a consensus. The universe began approximately 13.8 billion years ago. Okay, so that's the starting line, 13.8 billion years. Nothing in the universe, no galaxies, no planet, no atom should be older than 13.8 billion years. This is the hard limit. If something is older, physics breaks down, isn't it? So let's meet the star that did just that. So friends, meet HD 140283. But you might know it by its more famous name, the Methuselah star, named after the biblical figure renowned for his incredible longevity. Methuselah is special for many reasons. First, it is remarkably close. It is located just 190 light years from Earth in the constellation of Libra. We can see it easily with binoculars. It's practically a neighbor. Second, it's very fast. It cut across the sky at incredible speed. I mean, especially for a star, moving past us rather than around the galactical center. This tells us it is from somewhere else. How do we measure its age? We use a branch of astronomy called stellar spectroscopy. By analyzing the light that star emits, we can determine its composition. Our sun, for example, is rich in metals. Well, if you don't know, astronomers define anything higher than hydrogen and helium as metals. Metals are made by stars. They are forged in supernova explosions and then released into the galaxy to create next generation of the stars. This means our sun is a newer model. It has many previous models built into it. But when we point our spectrometers at Methuselah, we saw almost zero metal. It is incredibly primitive. Its composition is almost entirely hydrogen and helium, the original elements created right after the Big Bang. This indicates it is one of the very first star ever born. Well, this isn't a big problem. The problem came when we added its luminosity, which is the brightness, and its life cycle stage. It is the subgiant, the classification is subgiant, and we add this to the equation. We took the composition, the brightness, and the model of our how the star age, and we got the answer. In the early 2000s, multiple independent calculations using this method came up with an age for Methuselah that caused a collective spit take, that is 16 billion years. Wait, we need to rewind. We just established the universe is 13.8 billion years old. How can a star, which is a product of the universe, be 16 billion years old? It is 2.2 billion years older than its own creator. This was the crisis. It wasn't just a minor statistical error. It was a fundamental incompatibility. Either the star defied the gravity or our understanding of the Big Bang itself was in jeopardy. The parent-child paradox had come to space. When data clashes with theory, science doesn't just panic. It does what it does best. It double checks the math. Scientists knew something had to be wrong, and when they dug into the calculations, they found the weak point. The entire age of the star calculation relies heavily on one thing: knowing exactly how bright the star is. But brightness is tricky. A powerful flashlight miles away may look dim, but a tiny match a foot away from your eye looks brighter. To know true intrinsic luminosity, we must know exact distance. Until recently, our distance measurement for Methuselah was good, but not perfect. We relied on parallax, using the Earth's orbit as the baseline to measure how much the star seems to shift against the background other stars. In 2000s, we were using parallax data from the Hipparcos satellite, which had the margin of error. Then came the fix. Astronomers used the far more powerful Hubble Space Telescope to redo the parallax measurement. They determined the star distance was slightly different than we previously thought. This small correction in distance meant a small correction in true brightness, and when we reran the numbers, the age estimate changed. The age dropped from 16 billion to about 4.5 billion years. This was better, but it still wasn't great. 14.5 billion years is still older than the 13.8 billion years, which is the age of the universe. But note that number, plus minus 800 million years, this is the key, and that is the statistical uncertainty. It means we are reasonably confident the star's age lies somewhere between 13.7 billion and 15.3 billion years, and 13.7 billion years is just young enough to fit into the Big Bang. We had found the wiggle room. The star was likely born right at the beginning. This crisis highlighted the most beautiful and difficult thing about science. It is an iterative process. We are never measuring the truth. We are measuring our best model of truth with our best tools. As the years went on, we kept iterating. The Methuselah age was revised again when we factored in more precise measurements of the nuclear fusion processes inside the star itself. We realized we were overestimating how fast the star had burnt its fuel. The consensus today places the star's age at around it's incredible 13.7 billion years old. It is one of the very first primitive star ever created. If you could have been there 13.7 billion years ago, there would have been no planets, no structure, no carbon life. There was just a vast cloud of primordial gas collapsing into the light and the universe for the first time. The Methuselah star is a direct relic from the initial Fiat Lux movement. It is practically year one. That means a year old. This doesn't break physics, it confirms it. It confirms that our cosmological timelines, which is 13.82 billion years, matches the age of the oldest known thing in the universe, which is 13.7 billion years. If Methuselah had turned out to be 10 billion years older, that would have been a strange. Why were, there are no older stars? If it had remained at 16 billion years, the Big Bang theory would have crumbled. Instead, we have this perfect razor-thin confirmation that the parent is indeed older than the child, and just barely. If Methuselah star, which is HD 140283, isn't a paradox that broke the universe, it is definitely a catalyst that broke our assumptions. It pushed telescope to be sharper, model to be smarter, and it reminded us that the answer in space are never as simple as they seems. So when you look up at that little reddish star in Libra, you aren't just looking at the gas and the nuclear fusion. You're looking at a fossil, a tiny glowing piece of evidence that says there is where everything began. So friends, thanks for watching this journey to the start of the time. What about you? Do you think we will ever find something that is truly defy the cosmological limits? Let me know your wildest theories in the comments. And as always, remember to subscribe and keep looking up. See you in the next one.